First up, though, we have a new regular feature on the cafe. It's called Ask the Vet with VitaPet's vet, Dr. Lauren Bleaken, who's going to share her expert advice and tips on something many owners struggle with: how to put a stop to their puppy or dog digging, chewing, and generally destroying the family home. This is a perfectly timed slot for me. Good morning and welcome to the show, Dr. Lauren.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Just wanted to introduce you to Alfie. He's a 20-week-old golden cocker spaniel who's currently nicely chewing my hand.
He's beautiful.
This is pretty normal behaviour for puppies and dogs when they're left alone in the home, really.
Yes, it's really common. We see it all the time. It tends to manifest in those really stereotypical behaviours, things like the dogs with the toilet paper rolls, chewing shoes. Sometimes we see it in things like backyard digging, and bin scavenging is another one that we see quite commonly as well.
So what are the other common behaviour issues you'll see and what's causing it?
Those behaviours we just spoke about, those are boredom behaviours typically. They do have a bit of a spike in puppyhood with those behaviours as well, as they're sort of testing the ropes. The only other thing that kind of has similar presentation can be separation anxiety. They do have some overlap, but when you get to the more extreme end of the spectrum with separation anxiety, it becomes a real issue involving emotional distress for the dog. And we see that's where we get those the howlers, the vocalizing, the dogs that the neighbors are complaining about. They tend to be a lot more desperate in their escape attempts, so they'll break through doors and be really destructive. So if you're unsure and you think it's bordering on something a bit much for boredom, that's a good time to go and speak to a veterinary behavioralist and just try to suss out if you've got something a bit more going on your hands.
So how could you tell if it was boredom related or an actual diagnosis of separation anxiety?
Well, one of the really simple things you can do is just try to treat the behavior. So boredom often comes from boredom, which is in dogs, it can often come from, I like to think of it in sort of a three-part system. So one is just pure exercise. So if you're a bit bored and you've got lots of beans, you're going to use that energy to go and find mischievous things to do. If you're really tired and a bit bored, you're probably just going to go take a nap. So if you keep your dog well exercised and you stop seeing that behavior so much, that's one clue. Another thing I like to think of is busy mouse, busy minds. Dogs are very orally focused, as you can imagine. So if you try, keeping your dog exercised and doing some boredom busters, which we can talk about some more, and the behavior goes away, you've probably just got a simple boredom problem.
Okay, so things like behaviours like toileting inside, playing with the toilet roll, chewing the shoes. This one's been eating and regurgitating socks and undies, which has not been very pleasant for the kids. But we've been around for that, so that's just part of his puppy growing up, isn't it? He's just into everything.
Yeah, and it's a really normal adolescent thing that they're testing the boundaries. They are really full of energy. So, it kind of comes into all of that. So a really good way with young puppies is to give them behaviors that they can do. So that ties into the mental stimulation. So trying to give them outlets for that behavior that are okay. So you find them chewing a shoe, let's give you something else that you're allowed to chew on. So really good ones for puppies we have things like you can get, these are called rough and tough. So this is a hollow toy. And what you do is, I've actually got one open here. It's got a hole in the end, and you can take a treat and you break it up and you pop it inside of the rough and tough. And then the dogs roll it around with their nose, and it's actually quite difficult to get the treats to fall back out. So they can spend hours, minutes, hours, depends on the dog, just trying to get the treat out, and it can keep them really well entertained.
Those are brilliant boredom busters. He's quite liking this little thing at the moment. It's got no food on it, but it's a good little tug toy.
Yes, and there's different dogs like different things. So some dogs just like a little bit of food and treats. Others just like toys. So you can do some dogs like, for example, a plush type toy. This wouldn't last 2 minutes with my dog. He completely destroys plush things. Really likes hard toys that are food focused. Some dogs just like pure foods. We also have, you can go down the rawhide kind of avenue, and there's some more really exciting rawhide products that we've got now as opposed to your old-fashioned traditional. So this is actually what we call a filled rawhide. So it's got a nice liver filling in the middle of it. So they've got the chewing to keep them busy, but they've also got this nice paste inside that they can lick, and really motivates them to get in there and keeps them busy for a long time trying to get the filling out. So there's lots and lots of options that you can use to keep them busy.
I'm a brand new dog owner. We've never had a dog before. We've got 3 children as well. It's all a massive learning curve for us. I don't know what treats are best used for training, and does it depend on the age and size? I mean, what can I give a 5-month-old pup?
Yeah, a lot of products will have a size indication or an age indication on them, so you can read the product is a good place to start. I think the main thing to remember with treats is that they're not supposed to exceed more than 10% of the dog's daily calorie intake. So if you're giving just pure treats, like something like a milky stick, so you want to stick to that 10% or less rule. When you're looking at things like rawhides, it's important to keep size in mind for your pets. So you don't want something too small. You don't want them to swallow it whole. You want them to have to work and chew on it. So with puppies, it's important that we don't get a product too small. So something that's a little bit of a good size for them to work on. And then also just bearing in mind that when they're that age, they are going to be getting rid of their puppy teeth and getting through some adult teeth. So it's a really good way to help them, and it relieves that gum pain. But you might see a bit of bleeding. You need to keep an eye out and make sure that they're not going too hard and irritating the gums too much.
Yeah, we found a decent sized molar in the water bowl last night, which was quite exciting. The kids were wondering if the puppy tooth fairy was going to come.
Yes, you should keep it. See if they give you some money in lockdown.
What about keeping his mind busy? I think Alfie's pretty smart. He's a pretty quick learner. We haven't allowed him on the couch or the bed yet. But how else do I keep his mind occupied? Hey.
Yeah, so a good way to keep their mind occupied is to actually you can use food or treats. So whatever their favorite is, once you've had a little bit of a play, taking their favorite treat, and you can actually hide it around the house.
Well, Dr. Lauren, I've just found this in our little box of treats. What's this one? It's a Shake Me Crazy Giggler Boredom Breaker.
Yes, so this is another option that we've got. So in that busy mind category, especially for dogs that maybe aren't as interested in treats or people who are calorie conscious, it's just trying to keep them interested. So if you shake that in front of a dog, most pets go berserk trying to figure out what the noise is. So they'll roll it around and chew on it, all just trying to figure out what's going on. And so it can be really good entertainment for them. And it's just another option that's not necessarily food motivated.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lauren.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
And the VitaPet range of treats and toys are available in supermarkets nationwide. For more expert pet advice, head to vitapet.com. Plus, with your chance to win a VitaPet Toys and Treats prize pack for your dog worth $50, go to our Facebook page to enter now.